Hi, welcome to the video series. I'm Brijesh, and in this video I'm gonna talk about definition of done and definition of ready in terms of agile. Moving forward to my next slide, if you see here in this graph, you can see the backlog and then definition of ready, and then iteration is going on, and then definition of done, and it's been done. So basically in this video it's clear, okay, definition of ready always happen before the sprint start. Means you can say sprint planning meeting or product backlog meeting. In between, definition of ready is there, and once we are done with the sprint iteration, almost we are like shipping the project for that particular sprint, then it's a definition of done will happen. Okay, so first we are going to talk about a definition of ready. So definition of ready basically criteria of the user story to meet in order to start the developing, and we agreed, and then only we can pull the user story from product backlog to the sprint planning meeting. So below are some checklist are there. Okay, yes, on the basis of that we can say yes, it's a definition of ready, we achieve it. So points are, the first one is very important things, a clear description for the user story so that developer can easily understand, okay, what they are gonna develop. The second point, a business value is clearly articulated. Means not like that we start a sprint, okay, then we start working on login page and then one guy working on a end page, final page. Not like that. It should be a sequential way. The third things are acceptance criteria are clearly and testable. It should be clear, okay, what exactly the acceptance criteria we need it. The fourth is the staff like Scrum team should be appropriate to complete the PBI. PBI means product backlog item. Suppose we have a bunch of user story, so the team is appropriate to deliver that in that sprint or not, because suppose you have a 10 story, it's a big story, and the team size is like 4 or 5, it should not appropriate for to develop this thing. So teams should be appropriate. The next point, dependencies are identified. There is no external dependency, so that it's a blocker, because if we have some external dependency, we need to resolve that external dependencies before starting the sprint. Otherwise it's a blocker, we cannot deliver uh, the product on time on that sprint. The next point, a product owner has approved the story, because this all the story, whatever story is there in product backlog item, that must be approved by the product owner. So note the important thing, definition of ready is determined by the product owner. We are going forward. So after definition of done, you can see here we are moving to the iteration phase. In iteration we are developing the user stories, and once we're done with the user story development, then we are going to talk about definition of done. So what exactly definition of done is? Okay, so definition of done basically means the stuff is developed, tested, and meet all the acceptance criteria. It's well documented and deployed onto the test server, etc. So this is what Agile call the definition of done. Or in other word, you can say, because at the end of sprint what we are doing, we are going to deliver a potential shippable software. So you can say the potential shippable software equal to a definition of done. Okay, and definition of done is determined by the Scrum team. Scrum team means the development team. There is no role for product owner in terms of definition of done. So you can see in this slide, okay, we have some checklist. Okay, on the basis of that we can say yes, we achieve a definition of done here. The points are the code commented and checked in and run against the current version in source control. Okay, the next point, the peer reviewed. It's very important things for peer reviews, so that okay, we can check it out, uh, like okay, we are basically follow all the process for in term of development, like in term of development is standard, because every product or every organization has some development standard, so we follow, we meet that development standard or not. So that is done in a peer review only. The next point is unit testing. If you are doing unit testing, it should be written and passed. The next point is deploy the code into the system test environment and passed all the system test cases. The next and important thing should be passed in user acceptance testing, because without user acceptance testing, we never get a sign off for that particular requirement. So it must. The next point is, if required documentation or diagram, it should be up to date and proper. And last point is, whenever we are done with the sprint, the remaining hours of the task we need to set to 0 and task close in the dashboard. And that is a very important thing, because on the basis of that we can get a appropriate or correct burn down. Then only we know, okay, yes, where we are and how we go. So this is a very important points here in terms of definition of done. So these are the checklist of definition of done. On the basis of that we can say yes, okay, yes, this is, we achieved definition of done here. Thanks for watching this video. Please subscribe this channel for more information and detail. Thank you so much.